On today's Four Verts episode, Pro Football Focus released their quarterback rankings for all 32 projected starters for the 2025 season, placed them into tiers and ranked them within those tiers. So I just thought I'd react and just kind of give my 2 cents on their list. So let's go ahead and jump in here. Patrick Mahomes, number one. No debate. I don't think he was the best quarterback in the league last year, but I think he's got the resume to back that up. I really got no issue with that. Joe Burrow, too. This is interesting. A lot of people would say, and I think the data backs this up, that last year he had the best regular season of any quarterback, but you can't give the MVP to someone who doesn't even make the playoffs, so it turned into a Josh versus Lamar. But Joe was excellent last year. I think when he's healthy and when he's right, he's as good as anybody. Lamar Jackson, obviously, we know what he brings to the table as a runner, as a passer. He's really grown as a thrower of the football the last couple of years under Todd Monken, their OC. And then Josh Allen, 4. I think we could debate 2 through 4 all day long. I personally would take Josh Allen second after Patrick Mahomes, and then it becomes the Lamar Burrow debate. I'd probably take Lamar because even though he runs more, he's actually been more durable, and obviously he gives you more explosiveness in that regard. But regardless, it's Mahomes 1, and it's a clear top 4. And we can debate 2 through 4 all day long. So no real issues or takeaways from the start of that list. It gets interesting after that, but before we get to 5 through 32, you want me to do my own list? I've been thinking about doing it going into 2025. If you want my personal quarterback rankings for the upcoming season, let's get 250-plus likes on today's show. Hit that thumbs up icon. If we get 250-plus, we'll make it happen. All right, Jalen Hurts at number 5. I probably won't have him this high if and when I do the list. I get he won the Super Bowl last year. Obviously, the tush-push ban did not happen, so that play increases his value. Certainly should be in the top 10, 2 of the last 3 Super Bowls, but in a very, very good situation. And by the way, this tier, high-end starters per PFF. Okay, Jayden Daniels, 6. Look, if you're basing it just off last season, that's probably about right. He was probably somewhere between the 5th and 10th best quarterback in the league. But it's 1 year. Are we jumping the shark with Jayden Daniels a little bit? But we did this with CJ last year, and CJ Stroud was kind of just all right last year, and PFF's rankings kind of confirmed that with how they have him coming up. So, listen, if you want to base it just on how they played a year ago, sure. But if I'm ranking my quarterbacks going into a season, I think 6 is a little high on Jayden Daniels. Okay, Matthew Stafford, 7. I think that's a perfect example. Like, I would still have Stafford ahead of Jayden. Now, obviously, long term, I would take Jayden over Stafford. I would take Stafford probably 5 on this list, if I'm being completely honest. I think right here, right now, he is the top guy outside of the big 4. And then I'd probably go Justin Herbert, 6. And PFF has these 2, 7, 8. Again, nitpicking. If you want to put these guys in the same tier, that's fine. Clearly, Herbert's getting dinged for playoff performances. Obviously, he blew that big lead to the Jags a few years ago. Last year, he laid an egg against Houston. I get it. So I'm not going to make a major fuss about this one. I'd more argue Stafford should be higher than Justin Herbert, but big year for Herbert and the Chargers. The only pushback I'd give is that team won 11 games last year, and they probably did not have a playoff caliber roster. They are much better on paper heading into this year, so the pressure is on Jim Harbaugh, Justin Herbert to deliver at least one playoff win. Okay, PFF splits Tier 3 into 2 sub-tiers here. 3A is solid, high-end flashes. 3B is solid, but they need more help. So I kind of have some quirks with how they place some of the guys into these tiers, but this is their definitions of that. So we'll go ahead and kind of react to that coming up right here. Okay, 3A, number 9 overall, Jared Goff. I don't have an issue with Goff being number 9 overall, but isn't he kind of the definition of he needs more help around him? When he hasn't had great help around him, when LA had some banged-up teams, things kind of fell off. Early on in Detroit, it looked bad. Now their offensive line is elite. Now their receivers are elite. He had the best player arguably in the sport the last 2 years in Ben Johnson. He looked like a top 5 guy. So I'm a Jared Goff fan, but I don't think he fits this tier in terms of PFF's definition. Okay, Geno Smith. Yeah, we've seen high-end flashes, but 10th best quarterback in the league, I'm a Geno guy, but that's a little rich. I mean, we'll get to some of the names behind him. Like, Geno's a great story. He can throw the ball into tight windows. He also, against high-quality opponents, more often than not, has not played that well. So I I think it's a little egregious. The guy was a backup for like 7 years. He's had a nice 2.5, 3-year run here, but let's not put him in the top 10. And as someone who hasn't been super high on Brock Purdy, I would take Brock Purdy over Geno Smith. I just would. Now, if Geno got to play with Shanahan, maybe it'd be a different story. And look, we'll see how Geno fares in Las Vegas. But Purdy over Geno, I feel pretty comfortable with that. I probably wouldn't have either top 11, if I'm being honest, based on some of the names coming up. But I also feel like Purdy is also fits more in the Goff, what I said about Goff, of like he needs a lot around him. Like when the Niners had injuries last year, he didn't play as well. So isn't that kind of the definition of like when it crumbles around him, he doesn't play as well? So I have to push back on that. Okay, number 12, and now into 3B, solid but needs help. Jordan Love. He's an interesting case study because I would argue the high-end flashes have actually been there, but last year he kind of regressed. So where do you place him in PFF's tiers? That's kind of tough. So, I would say 12 is probably the early window of range just in terms of 1 through 32. But I also think he fits that other bucket more. So, again, I'm nitpicking here. But I'll say this. It's a big year for Jordan Love. They paid him top dollar, and he did not give them return on that investment in year 1 last year of that new contract. Okay, Baker Mayfield, 13. Listen, the last 2 years he's been a top 10 guy. My producer, Sam here, big Baker fan. And listen, I think he's matured. I think he's found a home in Tampa. Obviously, they have a lot there, so I do get the sentiment of like has a lot around him, so I'm okay with him being in that bucket. But like, I think he's played better than Jordan Love when you add up the last 2 years. I think he's played just as well as Brock Purdy, especially last year. It wasn't even close. So I would probably have him more like 10, 11 and then drop everybody down a peg, but that's just me. CJ Stroud at 14. His rookie year, he played kind of like Jayden last year. Top 6, top 7 guy. Last year, he's probably more like 14 to 20. So, this range is probably fine. His high-end football is higher than this, but the key for him is to be consistent. But, again, I think he fits that mold of the high-end flashes. We've seen that. So, I almost feel like they got their tiers backwards here in 3A and 3B. I feel like the guys in 3B fit the high-end flashes more than the guys in 3A who fit the more like, yeah, they're really good when they have a lot around them. Jared Goff, Brock Purdy, etc. Okay, Kyler Murray. Again, high-end flashes guy, not really fits this tier. So, again, I don't know if they just submitted their data backwards based on their definitions of 3A and 3B, but 15 overall, probably fair for Kyler. He's a middle of the pack in terms of the top 32 starters. Good player, not a great player. I got a big problem with this one. Still 3B here, solid. Trevor Lawrence has been solid for like 10 games of his career. I mean, seriously, his rookie year, train wreck. Second year, the second half of that year, really good. Third year, good for about 6 weeks, got hurt, trash at the end of the season. Last year, not very good at all, got hurt again. To me, 16, I know that's behind 15 guys, but like the next guy here is Dak Prescott. And I know it's easy to dunk on Dak and the Cowboys, but there is nothing you can point to where you would have Trevor Lawrence higher than Dak Prescott. Like, even the lack of playoff success, my producer says better hair. True, eh? There's one thing you can point to for Trevor Lawrence. That's embarrassing from PFF. I know Dak's had some injuries. He's a little older, but like you look at their careers, it's not even close. Even if you want to point to Dak's lack of playoff success, he still won 2 playoff games to Trevor's 1. That's pretty egregious to me when it comes to Dak's ranking overall, especially in comparison to Trevor Lawrence. And also, you're telling me that Geno Smith is the 10th best quarterback in the league and Dak is 17th? That's a pretty wide gap. I don't know how many GMs in the NFL would take Geno Smith over Dak Prescott unless you're just making it about injuries. Tua Tagovailoa also has been better than Trevor Lawrence. I'm not even a big Tua guy, but I think he does fit this bill really well, though, of like needs a lot around him to look good. But when he does have a lot around him, he looks pretty good. But again, that's 3A, not 3B. Or no, that is 3B. So this one actually checks that box. But the other guys, not really sure it does. Okay, subscribe to the channel. Again, we might do this list ourselves if we get enough likes, but we're pumping out content just about every single day. I'll actually be out of the office the next few days, so we might miss a day or two. But don't miss out on the latest news, my reaction to things, big stories out there, segments like this, and a whole lot more. Okay, the young category. I think this is year 3 guys or younger, so year 3, year 2, year 1. Bo Nix, I got no issue. Thought he had a good rookie season. Certainly coaching under Sean Payton, playing under Sean Payton helps. I thought he was the second best rookie quarterback last year in terms of consistency. Bryce Young at 20, oh boy. Bryce Young has become like social media's darling, and I don't really get it. Yeah, he's a nice guy. And yeah, he played solid when he came back from the injury. But what are we doing here? We all pretty much agreed that before he got benched for Andy Dalton, like this is one of the worst players we've ever seen. He was awful. He not only did he look small, he played small. He couldn't escape the pass rush. He was airmailing guys. And everybody's like, but look how he played after he came back when Andy Dalton got in that car accident and got injured. I'm supposed to just take these numbers and be like, he's arrived. He's unreal. Yeah, he's arrived enough to, let's give him a third year. But I think even Carolina is probably like, yeah, this is 50-50 at best that he's our guy moving forward. So, listen, I'm rooting for him. Seems like a nice guy. I got nothing against him, but like these numbers are, he's the man. We're going to put him ahead of other guys who have objectively played better than him. That is crazy to me. Even him playing better when he came back was like, this is fringe starter at best. Like, he went from a bad backup to fringe starter, so okay, if he keeps growing, awesome. But we're not there yet, and we're really not even close. So I think that's a pretty big projection. Okay, J.J. McCarthy. You notice I haven't said multiple other second-year quarterbacks yet, and yet J.J. McCarthy ranks higher, having not played a single down. Now, whoever wrote the article, I'm forgetting his name, he said, I'm basing this based on my college evaluation. I'm like, okay, he hasn't even played. 0 snaps. 0. And he's ahead of Drake May. He's ahead of Caleb Williams, who's coming up. Michael Penix, by the way, also ahead of Caleb Williams. I know you guys know I'm the Bears guy. But what are we doing here? I'm not sitting here saying I'd put Caleb at 7 or something. Like, no, like it was kind of rocky first year, but flashes were there. He should be ahead of J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix. Like, well, what are we doing here? If you want to debate Caleb and Drake, that's fine. But Michael Penix played 3 games or whatever it was, 4 games. And by the way, it was all over the map, which, hey, to be expected. Rookie year, getting thrown in there late in the season. But, like, you're ranking him ahead of Caleb, and you're ranking McCarthy ahead of Drake and Caleb? He's played 0 NFL football. So, yeah, that's a little ludicrous to me. Obviously, things can change, but I think their rookie QB ordering is pretty flawed after going Jayden 1 and Bo Nix 2, or I say rookie, second-year guys now for those groupings of players. So don't really get that. Don't really agree with it whatsoever, but listen, that's how things go. Okay, Cam Ward at number 25. Obviously, it's hard to rank a first-year player. But I'm not saying him and McCarthy have to be 31, 32 for not playing yet, but at least in Ward's case, they're not ranking him above guys who have actually played and at least shown something, whereas JJ has not shown any of that. So that's where things sit. Okay, we'll get to 26 through 32 in a second, but I just want to ask you guys, taking a look at the second-year quarterbacks, obviously viewed as a strong QB class last year, and I think all 6 of these teams should feel like they still have a pretty good chance of this working out. Who do you think will have the best 2025? I mean, obviously, Jayden Daniels would be the betting favorite there coming off the season that he had, but a lot of pressure on him as well. Could it be Caleb after the Bears have loaded up around him? Drake May taking a step in year 2. Penix and McCarthy now established as the starters. Bo Nix, does he take a big step forward? Let us know who you think will have the best second season. Okay, Sam Darnold at 26. This is the replaceable veterans quarterback tier. I don't know what you do with Darnold. I mean, I feel like he showed enough last year. He should be a little higher than this. I mean, replaceable veterans, if he plays 80% of last year, that's still a starter in the NFL. I am fascinated to watch him in Seattle because I think there's a lot of ways this could go. He could establish himself as like a surefire, at least solid starter in the league, or maybe he does go back to he's a replaceable vet, like fringe starter, backup type. Okay, Russell Wilson, 27. I think this is fair. I think he's a starter in the league, but like they drafted Jackson Dart for a reason. Like they plan for him to be their starter long term. So at this point in his career, Russell Wilson is signing 1-year contracts for teams who need a stopgap starter. Okay, Justin Fields at 28. I almost feel like he should be in his own category. I mean, maybe he's in between this tier and the next one. There's still some unknown there, but I think what we do know kind of shows that there's always going to be limitations. Okay, low-end starter. Again, you could put Fields at like the top of this one, but I got no problem with where they put him. Joe Flacco, 29. That's probably fair. He's 40, 41 years old. He can hold down the fort, but he's not taking you to the promised land at this point. Anthony Richardson, definition of low-end starter. Could change. Still a young player, but he's been erratic as hell since entering the league. The accuracy is all over the map. He's got a long way to go. Mason Rudolph, I mean, they didn't do Aaron Rodgers because he technically hasn't signed, but once he does, I'd be curious to see where they put him. Is he in the replaceable vets? I don't really know. Rudolph, he's just not very good at all. And then Tyler Shuck at 32. Putting him in the low-end category seems unfair because he hasn't played yet, but I think that kind of just turned into, well, I got to put someone for the Saints, so we'll just put Tyler Shuck at 32. So there you go. I don't think all the guys match the definition and the title of each tier. The ranking 1 to 32 is okay. I think the second-year QB rankings are kind of bizarre, but how would you rank PFF's QB rankings in the comments? I guess I'd go like C+. I mean, they got the guys that mattered at the top right, so that's something. But from the middle to the end, there's a lot I push back on there. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of 4 Verts. Again, if you want my own rankings, I don't know if I'll tier them or if I just rank them 1 to 32 or 32 to 1. Hit that like button. Also subscribe for more content. We'll see you guys soon.